Hey there. So this video is going to discuss the California property tax bills and understanding the details of how it works. So, how are our taxes calculated here in California? So we first of all have an assessed value. It's basically 1% of the property's sale price, or if you purchased your home many years ago, it has a certain ratio of increase over the years. In California, the property tax, when you purchase a home, there's 1%. So if it's $1 million home, it'll be $10,000 in property taxes. And then there's local taxes and voter approved bonds that can increase this rate. Um, the average is about 1.25%. So how do our property taxes break down? So you have your general tax levy of 1%. So that's just standard. Then you have voter approved debt. So that's bonds with infrastructure and improvements, etc. I'll show you that a little bit later. And then there's city direct assessments. So that could be a Melrose in cities like Irvine that are building brand new neighborhoods, and they have to put in fire stations, and they have to put in parks and schools and sewers, and basically build everything from scratch. So those are assessments that will also be on your bill. So on the annual assessment roll, the county's assessor's office will look at that each year, and they'll take into account any changes, construction, etc., and put a number of the increase that their need for each property owner. So if they have a certain amount of debt, they're going to divide it out amongst all the properties, and they'll give you your portion. Then there's also the supplemental assessments. That's when your home changes ownership, or there's some new construction. You add on some square footage. They're going to say, hey, your home is no longer 1,500 square feet, it's 2,000 square feet. So they're going to increase your square footage and add an assessed value onto that and a new market value. So what are the things that affect our property taxes? So in 1978, a proposition was passed which basically set a maximum increase of property tax at 2% per year, regardless of the actual appreciation. Because in California, we have much higher appreciation than 2% a year. So our homes go up, let's say 7 to 9% a year in value. Luckily, our property taxes only go up 2% a year. And what is it that that triggers a reassessment? So that's when you're selling your home or it gets transferred. So there's different ways to transfer property. That is another video on estate planning and how to minimize your taxes and that kind of stuff. The Proposition 13 caps the maximum tax rate at 1%. So unless something changes Proposition 13, which there is litigation or there's bills coming through trying to kind of sidestep that so that the state can charge more than 1%, it's going to be stuck at 1% and then 2% for the increase annually. So what is the benefits of Prop 13? There's a stable tax bill. You kind of know where you're going to be, and you can kind of help budget for that. And then it allows for generational transfer. So you can put it into a trust, or you can transfer it certain ways between parents and children without reassessment. But you need to talk to a tax professional or your financial advisor on the proper ways to set up your estate to make sure that this gets done correctly. If you don't have any plans, the state will get involved, and you're not going to like their involvement there. So there's different legislation right now that has been enacted or trying to be enacted to kind of work through modifications or change our tax rates in California, because Prop 13 for politicians is restrictive because they can't use our properties to gouge us as much. So Prop 19 is trying to, or modifies the parent to child transfer exclusion. Um, so that's something worth noting. And then base year value transfer, it allows a homeowner that's 55 or older or disabled or other items to transfer their tax base to a new home. So you can sell your home and transfer your previous tax base up to 3 times. So that's a great benefit of Prop 13 or as well. There's a lot of future proposals. I'm going to do other videos on that, which will help us understand and protect our property taxes. And then who's involved in our bills and everything. You have the county's assessor's office. They determine the assessed values. Then you have your county auditor, controller's office. They calculate the property taxes, and then they disperse revenue based on that. You get your tax collector, so they're going to bill you and collect the taxes. And then you've got your state board of equalization, who provides the oversight. And if you're going to appeal something on your tax bill, then they get involved. And then you've got your local governments as well, your city governments and special districts. And then the voters, obviously, people vote in laws, or they vote in for bonds. Bonds especially are things that can affect our tax bill. So here's a sample tax bill. This is a property in Long Beach. You have your basic 1% of your value that is on here, but then you have your district assessment. So for this in Long Beach, there's a safe, clean water. They're adding $95, and you've got your flood control, $23, and then a number of other items that get added to your tax bill. And then here, voted indebtedness, you have a Metro Water district, that's $10, almost $11 a year. Then the community college is $180, and then the big one for us is the schools, and that's $571 on this particular bill a year for schools. So there's a lot of things that affect our tax bill. I hope this was interesting to you. I will do other videos that kind of move off on some of these other topics. Thanks so much.